That's what happens, huh? A decisive match in the Carioca Championship at Ninho with a reduced crowd, right? Quarterfinals, Botafogo and Flamengo, Flamengo and Botafogo. Man, a very small crowd is expected. 15,000 people, if it even gets to that. 20,000, I think that's unlikely. The game is tomorrow. Only just over 8,000 tickets had been sold recently. 3,000 tickets for Botafogo fans, Flamengo's fans, almost double that, but still very low. 5,000 Flamengo fans have secured tickets. And look, that's crazy, huh? Crazy. A quarterfinal, how sad it is to see this quarterfinal, Botafogo and Flamengo, and the fans are more worried about partying at Carnival. That's how it is. They put the game at Ninho expecting fans, but nobody will go, not even Botafogo's fans. Impressive. Look, so that's what we had there. Out of the roughly 8,000 tickets that Vene Casagrande reported were sold for Flamengo and Botafogo, 5,000, more than 5,000 for Flamengo fans and 3,000 for Botafogo fans. It's unfortunate, right, guys? Really unfortunate. The situation we see here in the quarterfinals, remembering that it's supposed to be 50% of the audience for each team, is unfortunate. We also have some other information to share with you regarding Flamengo and Botafogo. And I also wanted to talk about this whole situation there, right? Botafogo might end up without a coach, but let's do this. Let's get to it. Go ahead. Guys, red and black greetings. This is Flamengo. Welcome to the Paparazzo Rubro Negro channel. If you're just arriving, I invite you to follow, like, and share on all platforms. If you're on YouTube, I invite you to subscribe down below. Turn on notifications by clicking the bell and leave a cool like on the video. We're here with a presentation from YouTube Shopping. You can get the authentic Flamengo jersey. You can get all the Brazilian A jerseys starting from RR89. There are some amazing jerseys, all official, and you help Flamengo by buying these Brazilian jerseys, man. There are fantastic models. We always show them here for you so you can find Mengo's jerseys. Besides that, we're also here. With the support of a rules caravan, you can secure your spot at Flamengo's games, whether it's at Maracanã, in Rio de Janeiro, or even abroad. In Rio de Janeiro, reception service includes the ticket. So you can look for Arul's Caravan and you'll be very well taken care of. Arul's Caravan has been doing excellent work for many years. And you can also lose weight with Mais Cabello. The Mais Slim weight loss program helps you lose weight in a healthy way, and you'll look good and have more hair. All over Brazil, there's always a clinic near you. Get in touch with them. You won't regret it. Look, let me just bring up the news I was talking about regarding Flamengo and Botafogo. A strong security scheme with more than 500 police officers being mobilized, in addition to the use of drones with facial recognition. Given the recent history of the matchup, the BEP will reinforce policing. It's a shame about the reduced audience, which we've already mentioned here. Monitoring cameras will be positioned at strategic points with support from drones and police helicopters. A command car equipped with monitors will also be parked near the stadium. The operation also involves teams from the Action Battalion with dogs, the Air Mobile Group, the Patrol and Crowd Control Battalion, and the Cavalry Regiment. According to Tiago Lima from GE, that's right, we also have, man, some information to share with you regarding the Recopa refereeing. Okay, is it set? Also, I'll talk here about Juninho. Flamengo fans are saying it was a mistake to loan Alan to Corinthians for free because he made a good debut there, right? He already completed a lot of passes and everything. Guys, look, there are training lions and there are debut lions, right? Let's not get like that either. Vinho also had a good debut there, but he's not doing so well now. So, man, look, I think everyone wanted Alan to leave. Everyone wanted Flamengo to loan Alan out. Now Alan goes there, makes his debut, and now people want Alan back, right? It's impressive. Look, I'm just going to check the members' post here. Look at this. Regretful, Arena Milgrau posted here. Corinthians fan. After a good debut wearing the Corinthians jersey, some Flamengo fans commented on the midfielder's performance. According to them, the player always stood out for his decisive passes, but ended up being harshly criticized for the first mistake he made. So Flamengo fans are commenting here that in his debut he's a lion, but Anderson quickly turns into a kitten. Carlos Teixeira. Look, we're also here to bring you some important news. According to GE, Flamengo has improved its endurance but is still looking for ideal strength and power in 2026. Flamengo is now physically below their level at the start of 2025. Internally, the assessment is more complex. In the first 5 official games of the season, the numbers for 2026 are even higher. In terms of endurance, the team covered 114.5 kilometers compared to 104.3 kilometers in 2025, as well as recording more distance per minute and at high intensity. The data was released by the channel Folzo 9, confirmed by GE, but the numbers don't tell the whole story. Felipe Luis's coaching staff understands that there is still a need to improve in strength and power, which are fundamental to sustaining high pressing and marking alignments. Without these ideal levels, recovery is slower, which has already led to occasional rest periods. With the longer interval between games this week, the club resumed higher intensity training sessions to speed up this process. The internal expectation is that better physical condition will help the team's performance recover. So we have Flamengo focusing more on the players' physical conditioning, weight training, fitness, everything you saw there, including in our Flamengo television videos. In training, Flamengo is really putting a lot of effort into the physical aspect to achieve this level of strength and power, to improve in strength and power. This is very important for Flamengo to be able to balance the physical condition of its players. We can see that this is exactly what's making things difficult. Man, look, we warned you here. Do you remember what we said here about Leila Pereira when she lent that money to Vasco? They took that beating from Vasco while fighting Flamengo for the title and lost. I even joked that Dick Dastardly always loses. Do you guys remember when I said that situation was really strange? Her being the president of Palmeiras and lending money to Vasco? I just said that now. Ricardo Capriotti on Bandeirantes said the following: Leila Pereira wants to run a team after she leaves Palmeiras. The team is Vasco, my friends, so we just confirm it, right? Yeah, we just confirm what we've been saying, right? That whole situation was really strange. Wellington 9-2 said it. No surprise at all given her recent moves. It was obvious. One thing's for sure, they're still going to be runner-up to the big bad. Paulinho Reis 18 said Vasco is cheap. Giovanni 47 explains the envy he has of Flamengo. Jose Luis is going to be runner-up to Flamengo just the same. And a lot of people are commenting, right? Some things we can't read about how she's going to buy Vasco, so we prefer to keep that off. You can see it in the comments there. In fact, I'm reading here the post from Mango Cria, right? Our partner, Mango Cria. I'm going to talk to you about the John Arias situation, right? He showed up at Palmeiras wanting to say that he chose the club to be a champion, the club that will give him the chance to be a champion. Let's see what Sormani said. He did really well. Look here.
He was introduced at Palmeiras this Friday and said that he came back to Brazil to play for Palmeiras and not for Fluminense because he wants to be a champion, and consequently, he wants to have a spot on the Colombian national team to play in the next World Cup, which will be held now in June in the United States, Canada, and Mexico. He returns to Brazil, I repeat, to be a champion and secure a spot on the Colombian national team to play in the next World Cup. What guarantee does Palmeiras have to become champion? None. Perfect. Only Flamengo in Brazil guarantees being champion. In this same period, that is in the last 2 years. I wrote down here Flamengo and Mano Libertadores, and with it, they became the Brazilian team with the most Libertadores titles in history.
That's right.
They won the Brazilian Championship, a Brazil Cup, a Brazilian Super Cup, and 2 Carioca Championships. Palmeiras won nothing, absolutely nothing, although...
They got a Paulista?
Palmeiras fans like to pose as super champions, don't they? In the last 2 years, I repeat, Palmeiras won one title, the Paulista Championship, while Flamengo won a Libertadores, a Brazilian Championship, a Brazil Cup, a Brazilian Super Cup, and two Carioca Championships.
And they won a state championship. The process was coming back
to Brazil to become a champion. It guaranteed a spot on the national team to play in the next World Cup. It wasn't Palmeiras you had to come back to.
It was Flamengo, perfect. Then I saw a lot of people saying, I agreed with Sormani for the first time. No, I've agreed a few times before. It's normal. It's normal to agree, to disagree. Many times people don't understand that we disagree respectfully. We disagree, we agree, and I've disagreed with Sormani a few times, but this time I have to tell you that Sormani was perfect. Come back to be champion. Look, we have Juninho scoring the winning goal for Pumas in the 88th minute of the game in the Mexican League. And now the fans are talking again. But I used to say he was good. Juninho and Allen, I even said I hoped he would do well and all. But Juninho, I used to say he was good. Guilherme Souza Juninho is a good player for Flamengo, just to fill out the squad, but he's already left anyway, so all the best to him. And then people are saying, he's good, it's Plata. Congratulations, Felipe. The guy had a lot to add to Flamengo. He's doing great over there. It's a shame they didn't believe in the potential he had, right? Sebaro sending Judismar Ribeiro, congratulations, Juninho, and complaining that Felipe Luis didn't give him a chance, right? Michael got there and scored in his debut, like I said, but honestly, I don't doubt it. Let me tell you something. And it's not just about Felipe. Whoever is a substitute or even a third-string substitute at Flamengo could be a starter on any team in the world, okay? Yeah, I'm not going to say Real Madrid, etc. and such, but the top leagues in the world, like I'm talking about Mexico, Turkey, leagues around the world. I'm not going to mention France, Premier League, Italy, etc., but many of the top leagues in the world. These players who are substitutes or sometimes not even on Flamengo's roster arrive and become starters, they're going to excel. It's really because they don't get an opportunity at Flamengo, okay? And I really used to say that he needed more opportunities. It's Konsluk 7. We miss having a striker. Unfortunately, Flamengo only has one style of play. It's the Flamengo jersey. This one did well, right? The Flamengo jersey scares the guys. It's too much pressure to play for Flamengo, okay? It's Mika Silva. It's Rafael Rodrigo. I'm speaking from here now. Everyone misses those guys, right? But when they arrived, everyone kept complaining and all that. I don't know what, but that's how it is, guys. When a guy leaves Flamengo, he'll get opportunities, he'll play for another club, he'll get minutes, and he'll score goals. That's the reality. Yeah, we're also here to talk to you about the refereeing issue. Yeah, it's already been decided for the Recopa, so we have the referee for the Lanús versus Flamengo first leg of the Recopa Sudamericana match. The Venezuelan Alex Herrera will be responsible for officiating the match, and he will be assisted by his fellow Venezuelans, Jorge Urrego and Lubim Torrealba, right? The video assistant referee, in turn, will be operated by the Ecuadorian Carlos Orbi. All right, we're here bringing you this information, and now let's talk a little about our rival for tomorrow, right? Felipe Alves, right, from Botafogo. South African news reported that Mateo Ponte and Newton have already been negotiated and may stay until the next transfer window. We still need to find out which clubs they'll go to. Even with Anselm's request, who asked not to sell anyone, not to sell any player at all to Botafogo, the negotiations seem to have started before the coach arrived. Or he had said that there was no way for anyone to leave, that if anyone left, there would be no way to solve the problem. He made that clear. So what's the situation now? Things are getting tough at Botafogo, and that's probably why the fans aren't going to the stadium, right? Hardly sold any tickets. Flamengo fans bought more than Botafogo fans, even though Botafogo was the home team. Yeah, so the news that just came out here on SportsCenter is that there's a serious crisis at Botafogo. According to major foreign news outlets, the situation of John Textor and his network of clubs has gotten even more complicated, according to Bloomberg. The American fund Arias Management has formally started collecting the 425 million euros, which is 2.625 at the current exchange rate, which it lent to the Eagle Football Holding Group led by Textor to buy Lyon in France in 2022. In other words, the situation gets even more difficult. Okay, so it's an important situation to talk about. We're on the eve of a match against Botafogo, and things over there aren't looking good, not at all. The situation is bad. That's what I've been saying. There you go. There's Leila wanting to invest money in Vasco, right? A lot of people are saying she'll take over Vasco when she leaves Palmeiras, and those guys have already bought Botafogo. They've already done that. BAP also stirred things up about that this week. So, guys, it's a situation where honestly, I don't think anyone really wants to make tough sacrifices, right? People don't want years of debt, they want things easy. But taking the easy way out leads to problems, right? Look, just to let you know, Polgar has reached an impressive milestone. He's the only Flamengo player who has already surpassed the 500-minute mark on the field in 2026, okay? Next, we have Leo Ortiz with 453 minutes and Alexandra with 451. These are the players who come closest to Eric Polgar. Okay, the Chilean midfielder has a total of 537 minutes played in 2026. He's a beast, man. It's really hard for him to get injured. Eric Polgar is a player, man, with impressive health. For me, he's one of the best players, if not the best player, on Flamengo's squad. And look, just to wrap up here, let's talk about the situation with the employees at Ninho, right? This was brought up by Flazuero about the employees. In fact, there were some people with bad character. Malicious people saying that Flazuero and I are fighting, that Mauro Cesar talked about me. Guys, I talk to Mauro Cesar all the time. He's my partner. I send videos of my son almost every day to Flazuero, showing Otinho to him. I talk to him all the time. We talk all the time. This doesn't make any sense, man. People have nothing to say, so they spread lies and atrocities. I've already been there and commented. If you see this post, report it to take down that page. This is a shame. The bonus amount per account. Look, the employees of Ninho do Urubu received this Friday the bonus amount for last year's Libertadores and Brazilian Championship victories. The news caught the employees by surprise. That's because they expected the bonus to be paid only to employees from Gavia and not also to the employees from Ninho. Behind the scenes, some people even joked, calling the situation a 14th salary. It's worth noting that the payment happened precisely when Botafogo, facing problems with its Sociedade Anônima do Futebol, laid off more than 30 or 40 employees. And Flamengo setting an example, but where's the São Paulo media to talk about the good things Flamengo does? No one shows up. Okay, no one shows up. And to wrap up our video here, we need to talk about a situation that's really bothering me. We mentioned that Cebolinha's contract renewal was coming up again, but Entertainment and Sports Programming Network Brazil reported that Cebolinha's renewal is still undecided, that the player has increased his value within the club, getting more and more playing time and even support from the coaching staff. Even so, the situation regarding the forward's contract extension remains undecided, okay? The decision still hasn't been made and depends on the approval of President Luiz Eduardo Batista to reach the amount that Cebolinha asked for, okay? So, for Jose Boto, who is also Flamengo's technical football director, to be able to move forward with the negotiations, BAP has to agree. A meeting has already taken place and we brought it up. The renewal meetings were already happening. There have already been meetings with Boto and company. So what was decided in those meetings was taken to BAP, and BAP needs to approve it, right? According to Entertainment and Sports Programming Network, they need to approve these new amounts, this renewal proposal that was made, right, which was decided in a meeting with Everton staff. Cebolinha, the player's contract ends at the end of this year, so there's a certain urgency. In the middle of the year, he can already sign a pre-contract, and Flamengo has it in their hands. Now it's up to BAP to decide whether to renew with Cebolinha. I think they shouldn't miss this opportunity. And really what I heard is that Cebolinha is asking for a considerable salary increase. And also, right, another situation involves a signing bonus and everything else. So Flamengo really has an amount that needs to be approved by BAP, but he's a player who really deserves it, right? Just like I said, Arrascaeta deserved to have his contract renewed and get a higher salary. I think Cebolinha earned it, even with all the injuries he had, all the problems he faced. He always managed, right, to give Flamengo much more in return than many players we saw getting paid, right? Like the winger himself. Oh, he went to Corinthians, did well in his first game, but he didn't give the return for the salary he was getting. As for Cebolinha, Flamengo should hurry and resolve this situation so Cebolinha's renewal is in BAP's hands, and I believe he won't slip up and won't miss this opportunity to renew it. Please follow, like, and share on all platforms. On YouTube, subscribe, turn on notifications, and like the video. Greetings, Black players. This is Flamengo.